I don't know if there are any scenes, so I'll stop talking if any other scenes come up, but real quick. Oh, this music's amazing. All right, but anyway, let me go ahead and give my my final thoughts on this game, because it's pretty fresh. I've had a little bit, like, what was it, a month since the last time I actually did any blocks of recording, so I think it's had a lot of time to marinate. Now, this is in no small part affected by the fact that I did actually watch The Witcher TV show on Netflix, which gave me a greater appreciation for the world. Gave me a little bit better understanding as to what's going on in it, so that was nice. But the game suffers from significant early RPG tropes, like traversing large, wide open spaces with not a whole lot to do. A lot of backtracking back and forth. That's kind of frustrating. Some fast travel would be convenient in order to move back and forth between those scenes, but it was a little difficult. Especially when the opening of the scene of the entire game is the outskirts, which is just this huge wide open space where quests are kind of peppered here and there. But beyond that, the world building, fantastic. The story itself was amazing. There were several plot twists that I did not see coming at all. The guy with oh gosh, I can't remember his name. Starts with an R. But the investigator, like his turn that he was actually Azar Javed after he got killed, that was neat. That was really cool, and I appreciated that a lot. That was incredible. The Alvin spin there at the end, plot twist, great. My gosh, sad, but amazing. They had some good storytelling pieces here and there. Now, things I'm looking forward to in the next game, because some other weak points in this game, the fact that most of the female character models were either old or very busty. That's silly. I'll just say that. I know I've had my problems with the sex cards thing throughout this game, and I kind of chilled out about it. Let me put it this way. There are certain degrees of misogyny that I can understand giving certain, that's the word I'm looking for. Given certain settings and world settings, I get that. It's gonna happen. But at the end of the day, when you're literally going around and collecting these cards of naked ladies, there's something about that's just intrinsically wrong to me. I just couldn't get past it. I know I've had several comments about the fact that, you know, I should just get over it. It's nothing new. It's just a thing, whatever. But when you have a good story like this and a character who is very much set in his personal beliefs, this weird misogyny angle of it throws him off, and I don't really appreciate that, because Geralt's an incredible character, and there were some certain times where you would just talk to someone, it would literally lead to sex, which made zero sense to me whatsoever. It's absolutely zero sense. Yeah, no. That, like I said, there was that scene with the elf where it's just suddenly like, sex. I was like, what? How? Why did? I gave you bread. So I'm looking forward to see how the rest of the games handle this. I'm looking forward to seeing actual character models that vary quite a bit. Some other things, the dialogue. It's just the script itself is... It's either really good or really bad, and not a whole lot of in between. Especially that scene where the game is basically just designed to tell you that you need to go into this house in order to talk to all those people during that last sequence with the epilogue. And the guy comes out, he's like, hey, come this way. And Geralt's like, okay. Like, what? Okay. But at the other time, you have times where you have, what is it, Zoltan. And Zoltan and him have an actual philosophical disagreement. And they just go on and on and on. It's very interesting and very engaging. And I appreciate that. So it goes both ways. And I really wish the writing was consistent. Same with the voice acting. Some of it was okay. Most of it was, well, it was interesting. And the good news is I know this was CD Projekt Red's one of their first games, if not their first RPG at the very least. So I know this is kind of like their first foray into this. So I do know that the later games get considerably better. So in no ways does that mean that The Witcher is a bad game. Nor does it mean that I'm not looking forward to the rest of the series. But I do want to point out that there are a lot of things about this game that I personally felt was very weak. And in playing it, considering how games are designed nowadays, it was a little difficult to go through. On release, it was probably a very engaging, very interesting game. And a lot of the problems with it were things that were fairly consistent with other games during its time. But playing it now in 2020, those issues were fairly glaring. Now, ultimately, I did enjoy this game a lot. There's a lot about it that I found interesting. It took a long time to get into the game. And I do appreciate several of you guys, just commenting on these videos to kind of encourage me to keep going. Because I generally want to finish games that I start. And there were a couple times early on, maybe like the first third of the game, where I wasn't sure I was going to finish this game. Just because it was rough. It was rough around the edges. The combat was bizarre. Yeah. There's also the fact that I don't know how it happened, but I got really OP near the end. Probably because I did all the side quests. So I kicked butt pretty hard there at the end. But again, probably not really designed to have someone go around and do every single thing. Because by then, well, you've got enough experience to take on really anything. Early game was difficult. Late game pretty easy. I know this is weighted a lot more on the negative side of things, but it's more the fact that a lot of the things I enjoyed. They were good. A couple of the characters were fantastic. I liked how the story resolved itself. A lot of that was good. It's hard to ignore a lot of the glaring issues that I had during my playthrough. But overall, fantastic game. I had a good time. The Witcher was an incredible experience. I definitely encourage it to anyone else who wants to play through it because it was good times. It was good times. Just be aware that, once again, it's a game of its time. It's very much a game of its time. So, if you can kind of accept that fact, which I wish I had known a lot better ahead of time, and you know that there are a lot of circumstances in this game that are not going to be consistent with other games on the market right now. If you can get through all that and understand that's what you're getting into, you're going to have a great time playing this game. And that's my thoughts. Final thoughts on The Witcher Enhanced Edition. Yeah, that was good. I had fun. I'm looking forward to the next one. Probably going to take a little bit of a break. Get away from The Witcher for just a little bit. And I'll see you guys in The Witcher 2 when I get to it. It won't be that long, I promise. Anyway, that's that. So before we start up a new game of The Witcher 2 later on, if there's anything you can say about The Witcher 2 that's coming up that's non-spoilery, that you can encourage me to do any kind of research on, be aware of, just be expecting as I go into it, especially knowing how this playthrough went, let me know. Drop it in the comments. But again, I'll be getting to that here relatively soon. Until then, hopefully you guys are having a great day. Take care, and I will catch you next time.